this and your favorite artist, well, you're not getting amused. This is self-critic reviews.
Is this gonna get different clues? Or if it's on YouTube, yet he is getting no views.
If you want some unbiased opinions, an analytic mind is worth billions. Yet he has been hiding his brilliance underneath this stifling diffidence. And if you don't like his opinions, go look for like-minded civilians to whine in the comment section and slap a dislike on his videos. Welcome to Self-Critic Reviews, and today Self-Critic is gonna review Happy Season 2, which at this moment might be the final season of the show. As usual, spoiler warning, consider yourself warned. And again, as usual, a bit of perspective on what I thought about Season 1. From what I remember, it was okay. The beginning was intriguing. The concept of using a fairy tale-like animated animal in a setting opposite of a fairy tale was a novel concept that I enjoyed. But I remember that as the show went on, by the end of Season 1, I was bored out of my gourd, so my overall impression tanked. And Season 2 picked up right where Season 1 left off, at the most uninspiring and uninteresting storylines. But as the story went on, the plot got slightly more fun. So in a sense, we got a reverse Season 1. With that said, the season was still shocking, and worse than Season 1, most definitely. If you've seen my Black Mirror Season 5 Episode 3 review, you remember how hard I picked it apart. It was an atrocious episode, a disgrace to the Black Mirror franchise, and that hasn't changed. But even with all those writing weaknesses, the episode still had lots of redeeming qualities, like the concept itself, the world setup, cool little Easter eggs, smaller scale technological concepts, etc, etc. This is why it was so easy to dismantle the episode. There was a lot to talk about, and the episode made me think, just like all Black Mirror episodes do. The concept bar was set very high, and the show simply did not manage to deliver in the execution. Things happen. In contrast, I'm not sure the same exact so-called dismantling can really be done in this series. Why? Because the ceiling, the bar, was set pretty low and the execution was underwhelming as well. Maybe there are less real flaws in this season than in the Black Mirror episode, but that is exactly because of the low standards and the silly unrealistic setting, similar to what I talked about in my Barry review. The primary concern about this whole season is that it's so unbelievably boring and not engaging. I realize that it's not a very objective thing to say, but yes, a TV show being interesting matters, sometimes even more so than the actual objective inconsistencies and discrepancies. So what made Season 1 somewhat appealing? It was exactly the dynamic between Sax and Happy, the imaginary flying unicorn. The voice acting by Patton Oswalt cannot be more perfect and is the best part about the series. The actor portraying Nick Sax is doing a very good job as well, but on his own, he's not as interesting to watch. And in the second season, at least for a significant enough portion in the first half, Nick Sax and the Blue Horse Unicorn got separated, and we were forced to observe them being apart from each other, which brought the show's dynamic down. A bit later that got redeemed when they reunited. But what about the section of the show that got wasted? Sonny Shine is a bit of an unusual villain, and I feel that his magic works more when he's not focused on as often. It's weirdly terrifying that he can actually see all the imaginary friends and rule over them, but this season, this ability of his wasn't really utilized that often. When there is some mystery surrounding Sonny Shine, like in Season 1, his character can be fun to watch. But when the focus shifted on him in Season 2, no matter how hard the actor tried to make his scenes interesting, good flamboyant performance cannot compete with uninteresting writing. The episode with Sax hallucinating from eating the red thing in the jar was dreadful. I've always hated hallucination illustrations in any shows, even if they do show some directing creativity. But they are not real, serve no real purpose, and are not funny or enjoyable. Why do TV shows and movies insist on shoving these scenes down our throats at all? The only time I ever saw this concept well done was in Hawaii Five-0, which is the last series you would expect to succeed at this concept. Amanda's character, Nick Sax's wife or ex-wife, did a 360 and became a junkie all of a sudden. Because of what? Whatever happened at the end of the last season? Please. I realize that the show legitimately explains this with a supernatural occurrence combined with traumatic experience combined with drugs. But tell me, how is this explanation acceptable? It's way too flimsy and convenient. In fact, the main storyline of the whole season hinges on a bunch of characters completely changing their personalities. Let me break it down for you in simple terms. What exactly happened? Blue Scaramucci asked Smoothie to coerce Haley, the daughter of Amanda and Nick Sachs, to kill Sonny Shine on national television. Sounds simple enough, right? Now let's dig deeper, piece by piece. Blue Scaramucci asked Smoothie, what had to happen for this to work? Blue Scaramucci had to have a demon literally decide to dwell inside him, so that two souls with opposite personalities are able to live inside of a body of one person. Then that other personality, the demon, had to appear in front of Smoothie to be able to have a conversation with him. Later, of course, for the purposes of ease, the original personality had to die so that it doesn't get in the way of the newly transformed character. Amazing, right? The next part is asked Smoothie to coerce Haley. So who is Smoothie? Smoothie is an arch-enemy of Nick Sachs. What would a regular arch-enemy usually do with the daughter of their rival? The general course of action would be to kill the daughter to make the arch-enemy suffer. A fairly foolproof plan. As a bonus, you can also torture her, film the act, and send the video to the parents for more gratification before killing her. Instead, what does Smoothie do? Smoothie is doing the exact opposite. He is being nice to her and turning her against her parents, making her feel that she has no friends in this world. This means that Smoothie believes that being separated from their daughter forever and or making her lose her innocence by executing the kill is worse for Nick than her simply dying. In other words, a daughter being alive but broken is worse than a dead daughter. But why? Why is this the case? I don't have any kids, so I cannot speak from experience. But in what world would a parent feel that an alive daughter having a chance and a hope for change, no matter how messed up she is worse than an already dead daughter? A good parent would love their child unconditionally, no matter how disappointed they may be with their life choices, or the fact that their kid is not speaking to the parents at all. They will just be happy from the fact that the life those parents created still exists in this world, and at worst, they will accept it and be happy. But if the child is dead, there is nothing. Nothing can be changed. There is no hope. There isn't worse suffering than a dead child for a parent. There just isn't. So how did Smoothie manage to convince himself to be nice to Haley? Not like he has any problems with beating children up, even in this season when he helped Haley. I know that this is the case and is the official explanation because Nick Sachs said as much, but sorry. No, not buying it. The next point is that Haley had to be coerced. It had to be a success. Smoothie's plan was to make her believe that she has no friends and that her parents lie to her all the time. So, how can one convince a person they have nobody when that said person has a wonderful mom? That's easy. Just make her mom temporarily change her personality to the opposite of what she is. How can that be done? We've already covered that. Supernatural elements, drugs, and a traumatic experience. That's very contrived if you ask me, especially seeing how conveniently she was back to her normal self.
Yeah. I'm back. Where's our fucking daughter?
And that's not all. Haley is a very smart kid. She isn't so stupid as to trust a complete stranger with a suspicious red eye. In what world a smart kid running away from her parents to live with a suspicious guy out of her own volition is an acceptable chain of events? And why did she even run away? So Nick confessed that he didn't tell her Sonny Shine kidnapped her and she got pissed that they were lying to her and ran away to Smoothie?
Run back to Sonny Shine? Go get high with a man who kidnapped your own daughter?
Sonny Shine kidnapped me? Answer, did Sonny Shine kidnap me?
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell me?
I thought I was doing what was best for you.
Oh, you don't know anything about me. I hate you both.
Haley.
Come inside.
Oh, hell no!
Yeah, I see no problem here. This brings us to another point: coercing Haley to kill Sonny Shine. To do that, she had to want to kill him. And I guess what set her off was allegedly the revelation Sonny had kidnapped her. This is an absolutely normal reaction for a child. Let's kill a person who kidnaps you. No, let's not speak to the police. Let's not your father for help, who is a specialist in killing. No, the most reasonable course of action for an established smart kid is not to do any of that. It is to listen to a suspicious person with a red eye and a random suspicious bald guy with a mustache and accept their proposition to kill Sonny on national television. Yeah, no issues here at all. During the killing scene, Nick Sachs threw himself to save Sonny and basically not make his own daughter a killer. This was quite ironic because she actually ended up killing her own dad instead of Sonny, which is infinitely worse if you think about it. But it's not really an inconsistency because Nick Sachs thinks he's a superhuman, and it would be an inner reflex for him in such a fast-paced case. What I thought was hilarious is that Amanda went to prison for shotgunning Sonny Shine, yet Haley, who attempted to kill Sonny Shine and killed her own father, doesn't get to a juvenile facility and is left in care of quote-unquote next of kin. But I'm sure that's how laws work in the United States, 100%. So yeah, to sum this all up, what a mess. So many things had to be artificially forced to make this arbitrary plan work. Why did it even have to be Haley to kill him? Why didn't Scaramucci want to do it himself? Nobody knows. To mention some of the positive aspects of the season, I like the reunion scene between Nick and Happy after both of them had gone through their own trials and tribulations. Happy's face was perfect after Nick's sarcastic remarks to him.
While you were out fornicating with what I hope is another imaginary friend and not a mouse or pineapple or something, I had a psychotropic breakdown, went to an orgy, found out Smoothie's alive, working for Sonny Shine, and kidnapped the wishy. Spoiler alert, they're monsters. Now, I would love to sit here and gab about your sex life all day long like a horny old lady on cable TV, but did I mention I got Amanda downstairs? Whacked out of her fucking skull. And pregnant. See you down there.
I also enjoyed the scenes at the end. Nick killing Smoothie.
Goodbye, Smoothie. See ya.
And the conversation of Happy and God, the imaginary friend.
What the heck am I?
That's a very good question.
God?
Let's call me an imaginary friend. Only my friend happens to be, a whole civilization.
You, an imaginary friend? That's silly. Everyone believes in you.
They do? Really? To tell you the truth, I got days when I feel just like you. Like, what the hell am I even doing up here? I mean, yes.
It was a pretty neat idea with decent depth. These imaginary friends are only real if you believe in them. Otherwise, they're not. And it was an interesting application of the concept to God. Although not sure how accurate the application was. Not in terms of veracity, but in terms of the definition of an imaginary friend in this series. God said,
Every day I hear these sanctimonious assholes saying, God told me this, and God spoke to me that. No.
Which contradicts an imaginary friend's behavior in this series. However, if you remember, there was a scene when Amanda saw Happy, or thought she saw Happy.
Happy.
Amanda?
And you see that Happy responded to Amanda. Then listen to this conversation.
I think I saw Happy.
Holy moly, macaroni, I knew it!
Happy?
Haley's imaginary friend.
Oh, Amanda, I'm here. Right here, can you see me?
Amanda said that she saw Happy, and Happy himself was not aware of that. So technically it could be what God was referring to, but it seems like a stretch to me. Either way, the concept was interesting. And if the show wasn't cancelled, I'm sure it'd be an amazing topic to delve into next season. But thankfully, the show got rightfully canned. The ending was abrupt and left lots of loose ends, so there was no expectation of the cancellation. Another interesting bit of trivia that I noticed, unrelated to plot, is that the location of Bibi DeBarge's house, which I think also might be the personal house of Sonny Shine, is the Ohika Castle in Huntington, New York. I don't know how the place looks like through the eyes of a person who's never been there before, but for me, seeing the interior and the exterior, how items were rearranged and what was changed, was very interesting to observe. Interestingly enough, they did not use, or maybe I didn't notice it, the Charlie Chaplin room. But it could have been due to legal issues, because from what I remember you weren't technically allowed to even take pictures inside it, as opposed to other rooms of course. Basically, I could not look at that place without a sense of familiarity and jaded eyes, because it's a place I've been to many times. Back to the plot. Meredith, the cop, felt detached from the series. Even though she was technically given a mission to get to the bottom of what was happening with Sonny Shine, and even had some relationship with Nick Sachs, her presence was quite shallow and unnecessary for a person with so much screen time. Oh yeah, Make Easter Great Again was a funny slogan, especially its acronym, MEGA. I think I've just about covered everything I could. The series is average but slightly fun. Not worth watching unless you want to. Thanks for watching the video.